Hi friends, my name is Bruce Wood. I'm here at the Woodshed Gallery and I'm here with Rick Cardoza, who is an artist, and Rick is one of our featured artists right now. Now, in going over Rick's work, I noticed that he's equally at home with many media. But basically, I'd like Rick to introduce you to his work and explain why he chose those media to work in. So, take it away, Rick.
Great. Thank you, Bruce. There's a couple things about my work that I particularly like to feature. I love color. I play up strong color in my work. I love the colorists of the Impressionists like Monet and Sisley and Pissarro. I like Winslow Homer and Sargent. And of modern day, I like some of the post-pop artists like Wayne Thiebaud for their strong color. I also work during the day. I have a day job. I work in the computer field, and I'm wrapped around a computer. I'm indoors all the time, and when it comes to painting, I love to get outdoors, take a hike, go to remote areas of nature. We're in a very rich area in southern New England, and I'm very fortunate that within an hour or two's drive, you can get to some tremendous spots. What I typically do in my work is I blend both on the spot or plein air or open air painting along with studio painting. These two pieces here are an example of plein air painting or open air paintings that I did, and both of them are kind of similar in their approach. These are oils. I like working oils outdoors because you can work fast, you can get a very quick effect. I found a kind of a remote section of the beach with this dune, and what really attracted me to the subject was the sense of light and shadow. It was getting to be about high noon, so the light was coming more from above, and the cast shadows were quite strong. Because it was around noontime, the color was pretty washed out though, and what I did was I did the bulk of the painting on the spot, but I went into the studio and adjusted it further. In the studio, I deepened the color and I intensified it to make the sand dune stand out more. So, for example, in the area of the blue around here, that's a lot stronger than I actually saw. And the shadow in here, I introduced a lot more reds and violets so that I get a nice contrast between the two areas, between the sky and the larger the image in here. Particularly interested in the areas of dune grass and the textures that were formed by some of the reeds and so forth. In the painting up above, similar type of scenario. I painted on the spot. It was a bright day. The painting was kind of washed out, so I finished it in the studio. The other thing that I kind of enjoyed when I was on the scene was there was a variety of cormorants, a gathering of cormorants, and there were only one or two when I was actually painting there. But when I got in the studio, I thought, well, they're kind of strong characters and they really need to be the focal point of the painting. So I added quite a few more to kind of fill out the space and also draw your attention up in that area. If we go to the next painting, this is a pastel. Pastel is quite difficult to work in the outdoors. There are some artists that do that, but it's a very fragile medium in terms of working with colors in stick form or chalk. And the thing I like about pastel, and this is why I used it in this painting, is that you can really get a lot of variety of color because you're working with pure colors in stick form. It was starting to rain, it was foggy, and the elements were starting to work against me. The painting really didn't get too far. So when I got in the studio, I found that there were a lot of interesting shapes and textures that I wanted to bring out, and pastel really lends itself well to this. So in an area like the passage of the sky in here, I was able to get a more blended and more subtle effect with the color by using a variety of hatching strokes with the pastel and the various sticks that I used. I used about 3 or 4 sticks to get that effect. And the same approach is effective in through the area of this mass, this rock formation, and also in through here with the trees. This is actually a tree that's quite fascinating. It's not too far from my house in Blackstone. This is a sycamore tree, and in fact it's probably, if not the oldest, the second oldest sycamore tree in Massachusetts. It's a real amazing tree. I've done a number of paintings of it from a variety of angles. In gathering reference material, I worked from a couple different photographs as well as some sketches that I did on the scene with some pencil sketches. On bright, cold winter days, the white branches or bones of the tree really stand out in a startling way against the deep blue sky. And so that was the color contrast that I wanted to create with this image. And in setting that up, I played a lot with shape and with direction and diagonals. The other thing that I did was that I played a lot with the flow of color. This is a watercolor, and watercolor lends itself towards a lot of play with the brush and with the material. So in areas like this, where the heavy, thick bark of the tree is still remaining, I put down the paint very thick and very wet and then fused color into it so that I just let the painting kind of flow together to create these different contrasts of color between the rust or orange and the greens. And then up in this area I played more with the brush to create marks for the different areas where the bark was peeling away from the base area of the branch. Originally when I designed this, the bottom part of it was all open sky, and I found that that was kind of monotonous for the other areas, and I kind of needed your eye to be drawn to the base but lead up. So this wasn't in the original studies that I did. I introduced the orange background for the trees in the distance and just gave enough of a hint that they were trees, but mainly create an area color to catch your eye here, but then lead your eye up into the main area of the subject up in this area.